Welcome, everyone, to our Power Thinking, Rejuvenating Your Amazing Mind training for Wednesday. It's March the 18th, 2026, and this is our 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time edition. I'm your moderator, Stanley Green. I'm joined by Power Thinking Corp mobile app user, David Jones, and he is the president and co-founder of the Hello LLC, all about AI. Just last week, we had a new Power Thinking Corp mobile app user, Paul Wright, who talked about AI in terms of the work that he does with companies, startups and so forth, who are, looking to incorporate AI, and he's helping them to do that and what they do. So no matter where you turn, we're going to be faced with this. And it relates to what we're talking about. The last time David was on, we were talking about the skill of challenging beliefs. Today, we're talking about another skill, avoiding thinking traps. Last week, we talked about a thinking trap, and we want to talk about, and that was tunnel vision. And certainly it relates to what we're talking about today as well, where there are a lot of ways to get something done, and we remain fixed on one way, and we lose opportunities to grow. That was one of the thinking traps. We're going to stay with a power thinking resilience skill number two, which is avoiding thinking traps, and we'll deal with another thinking trap, which is jumping to conclusions. And of course, our goal every week is to help you build these evidence-based skills so that you get stronger in your ability to bounce back from life's adversities. And there's adversities going on all over the world every day, many adversities like what you saw in the video with Larry David from the old series, Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's Larry David's The Marriage is Over, if you want to look it up on YouTube. And less than a couple of minutes, but very, very powerful. And I'm sure you can see very relatable to what goes on. So, David, thanks for joining me again. Really appreciate it. How are you today?
I am amazing. So glad to be here today. So glad to be alive and blessed and be able to have this conversation with you guys as we continue to live in the greatest time there is to live with this full transition of technology, financial system, everything that's going on. This is just a time that we all should be blessed that we get to experience this new transition. So I'm excited and happy to have this conversation with you as we continue to get this party rocking and rolling on the Power Thinking app. So let's get this going.
All right, fantastic. And so, uh, number one, let me go through those. And I see that Leslie on LinkedIn has joined us as well with a good morning. I want to give a shout out also to Sunil Kumar Singh. Good afternoon from India. Uh, Good afternoon to you. And we have Ashif. Good to see you, Ashif. And good day, everyone. So we appreciate you for being with us. And what I want to do is go through those seven inner strengths and the skills again to give you that, that baseline. Of course, our goal in getting through life's adversities is to control our emotions. And the first inner strength of resilience is emotion regulation, the ability to stay calm under pressure. Think about that video that I shared with you, Larry David. He comes in the door and his wife says, uh, we need to talk. And of course, what happens is automatic thoughts. Remember those 50,000 automatic thoughts a day? First thought jumped in his mind is, the marriage is over. So he says, it's over? She said, what's over? The marriage is over? And she said, huh? And of course, they go back and forth. How did he jump to the conclusion based on her saying to him that we need to talk, that the marriage is over? But think about how these things typically happen. And of course, there's a lot of emotion associated, right? He's probably anxious, he's fearing the worst, right? It's fear of a future threat. So he's anxious. He may be a little angry that the marriage is over, that he jumped to this incredible conclusion. So emotion regulation. Then there's impulse control, the ability not to say or do the first thing that comes to mind. He did that. He said the first thing that came to his mind, and then they go back and forth. Empathy, the ability to understand another person's experiences and emotions. Then there's self-efficacy, the belief that you have control over your ability to succeed. Number 5 is optimism, the view that all things will ultimately have a successful outcome. There's causal analysis, getting down to the root cause of a situation or problem, and then reaching out, connecting with others and taking action when faced with setbacks and challenges. You may have seen some of that dynamic happen as they recovered from that initial, oh my goodness, the marriage is over. What are the skills that help us to build those strengths? First is the skill of ABC, the relationship between the adversity, the belief about the adversity, which then leads to the consequence, that emotion. And avoiding thinking traps. That's where we're focused today. The first 3 skills are awareness skill. We want to be aware of what's going on in our head when we're jumping to conclusions. Or last week we talked about tunnel vision. Or when we mind read, right? That was happening as well in this situation where he opens the door and he was reading his wife's mind. He thought she was thinking the marriage is over, and he was totally wrong. And so these are some of the thinking traps. There are 8 of them total that we want to avoid. And if not avoid them, certainly be aware when they hit. Then there's detecting these deep-rooted beliefs. What did he believe about the marriage that drove him to respond the way he responded, right? And even if they get over that, he still has these deep-rooted beliefs about their relationship that needs to be explored. There's putting it in perspective, calming and focusing, and real-time resilience. David, your quick comment before we go right to the phones with Leslie and Carla.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about the video?
I think, first of all, when you shared, the thinking trap at the very beginning, I think another word would be, our patterns, our traumas, and the energy and the vibration that we bring to the conversation. Is it negative? Is it positive? Because when he walked in the door, she was happy. He was like, and the statement was made, and he was like, what happened? And so it really has to come down to the energy and the vibration that we bring to the table when we do have conversations with people, because a lot of the times our assumptions are the headlines that we read, or the worst case scenario comes up, and then what we hear from others really happens in how we respond and how we react in life. And this is where you talked about, we have to be aware. I heard Leslie in her room on earlier this week, and she talked about, this course that I took all the way up into like the master level, landmark, and it was living powerfully. It was being present in the moment. And it was making sure that you remember to live for today and live for this moment. And so often we bring up the past, we bring up these old situations, we bring up what happened to us, and that doesn't matter now. And so I think, as we talk about, AI, and have this conversation later, what is your energy and what is your, story with, life, with these conversations that you have, and or these people that we are having conversations with? And I say this out loud, even looking at my own relationship, is, what energy and vibration am I bringing to the relationship? Is it now, or is it based off something that happened yesterday or something that happened last week? And I think we all can have that conversation and really be honest with ourselves of how we're showing up in life and where we're really having our mindset focus at, because positive gets you positive thinking, negative gets you negative. And so we have to be aware of how we're showing up and not assuming and not allowing other people's, facial expressions or what other people do to us for us to respond and react in the wrong way. So as I share with people, fear is focus, energy arranged to react. And what are you focused on? Where's your energy at? How is it arranged? And how are you reacting in life? And a lot of the times that's what we do when we need to actually, or should I say, we're responding in life, and we need to really react in life at the end of the day. Or we're reacting, but let me get it correct. I keep getting it wrong.
Fantastic. Let's get to the phone lines. And anyone else, hit that *6. Or if you'd like to make a comment on LinkedIn, feel free to do that. Let's go first to Leslie Flowers. Leslie, thanks for joining us. Mention where you're joining us from and your thoughts about the jumping to conclusions thinking trap. Welcome. Oh, Leslie.
Prompted me.
I'm sorry. Hold on a second. Let's get Leslie back. I think I may have tapped the next person button and it then moved right to you and may have kicked Leslie off. So Leslie, if you can just hit that *6 again, I'd appreciate it. And we'll bring you back. Since I did not see her, I will not hit it. Oh, there she is. Okay. So let's unmute you, because if I hit the button, I'm going to kick Carla Hill off. We don't want to do that. All right. All right, Leslie. Thanks for joining us. Sorry about the loss. NC State lost to Texas by 2 last night, but good season.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Lots of excitement here in ACC land in North Carolina, and I wanted to get to the point of the video, to the deeper look at your question, which is what caused that to happen. Now, what happens with human beings, since each of us has our own unique view of what is happening? We've noticed this: if two people see a car accident, the story can be completely different. So we have to assume that everybody has their own view, which is, in this case, with the gentleman on the reel, it was the fear of criticism and self-judgment. We have 6 basic fears, and these are what we believe. We have perfect faith in our fears because we've experienced them repeatedly, and they keep coming up. So, for example, with this fellow, it was a fear of being criticized or judgment, doing it wrong. Now, what happens is something happened. The fact was that the wife made a statement. That's all there was. That is the fact. And what human beings do, and what he did, we pick the view or the reaction of whichever fear this is about, and this one is about self-judgment and criticism. I must have done something wrong. That's the assumption, because he has perfect faith in his failure about doing things right. And he collapsed together the fact with his unique relative view and made that what it meant. So all we really have to do is distinguish between the actual action that occurred and the meaning we're giving it. We're missing a lot of information. Obviously, he was missing information because he had no clue other than his perfect faith in his fear of self-judgment. This isn't right or wrong. This is about becoming aware. We all do this. The trick is to uncollapse the actual fact of what happened without any meaning ascribed to it at all. And then which meaning, based on our own 6 basic fears, did we react with and collapse together the fact with our point of view. This is how it happens. And the way you unbundle that is simply by separating your view from what happened. But look, it's a lifelong practice.
It is.
I mean, the best that you can do is to reduce the time between when you react, such as myself, I'm a wonderful example, and when you wake up and clean it up and go to the person and say, look, I misunderstood. Here's what happened. Tell me again, what was your intention? Thanks for letting me share, Stan.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Leslie, for sharing. David, your thoughts before we go to Carla.
Leslie always has amazing shares and a great perspective, on how we all look at things, especially with the car wreck. She's spot on. We all see things in a different way. And in all actuality, our eyes only sees 20%. The rest of our brain makes up the other 80. And so, especially when we talk about, the circle, it's what you know, it's what you don't know, and then there's what you don't know. And a lot of the times, the energy and the vibration that we bring to it, like I said, determines everything. And so, this is where we have to be, aware of really being able to listen to people. Because a lot of the times we listen to respond, we're avoiding to look bad, we're avoiding to look, we're looking, our looking good is running the show. And there's all these different scenarios that go on if we just slow down. And especially when she said, take that extra step, meditation has been a key for me not to slap somebody else within the first 2 seconds, more importantly, myself, right? Not self sabotaging myself. But that has been something that I would recommend for everyone to do, whether it's 5 minutes, 2 minutes, sit down, breathe, but sit down somewhere and separate the mind from the body, as Dr. Joe would say.
Great, 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 great. Let's go to, well, before we do, we have Coach Carrie Willis. Good to see you. She says, what you focus on expands. And yeah, once the genie's out of the bottle, it's tough to put it back, and then things happen, and then they escalate, and um, then you find folks are in court,
Yeah.
and somebody's in jail. I mean, it's just unbelievable how that happens. And now folks are thinking for years, every day, oh my goodness, what if I just paused and thought about this differently? So we have Ashif who says, no solutions come from conclusions. Conclusions stop solutions. Love that. I've never heard that before, Ashif. Conclusions stop solutions. Yeah, so we got to be careful with jumping to conclusions. And then Coach Kerry Willis says awareness. Awareness is extremely important. That's why avoiding thinking traps is one of the big awareness skills. Once we understand that there is something called jumping to conclusions that people are typically doing, and we have a label for it, or that we externalize too much, we may be blaming others for what's going on in our lives, or minimizing positives, magnifying the negatives, some of the thinking traps that folks fall into. Let's go back to our phone lines and let's hear from Carla Hill. Carla, thank you for joining us. Mention where you're joining us from and your thoughts about jumping to conclusions. You've seen this video before, correct?
Oh yes, I've seen this video. What am I? Carla calling. I'm in New York City today,
Ah,
and so yeah. So I get excited every time I come back my hometown, New York City, New
yes.
York. And what I loved about the video, because it reminded me of my marriage, and it happened this week. My family is a big Larry David fan of Curb Your Enthusiasm, and I actually saw him at the Met in Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah.
But I realized that it is after 36 years of marriage, in September be 37, there's definite prompts I give. And David talking about AI is all about the prompts, right? So he's preparing how to respond. And I realized, I say, after I process something, and I say, oh, now Jerry. So I see his whole body language changing. Now, because it gets a serious tone, like, oh no, what is she about to tell me? And I said, I saw you just flinch when I said, now Jerry. And it was something, I don't remember what it was, but it was basic. It was just it was a more serious tone, and he got very concerned. So I have seen it in my marriage, that happens, but I also realized that I have to guard against it for me. When I'm advocating for this, because I know better, because that's my thing as an HR executive, as a person that investigates. One of my relatives is having problems with FMLA, and I'm really, doing expert FMLA training citywide and about occurrences and all that other kind of stuff, and they were so upset, and these are close relatives. And I'm like, oh, I'm using my, and I never used my relationships you know, in government when I was there. But I was so upset that I thought they were like, based on them being upset. But I know better. Like I said, I need to have space before, like, think it out. Like, nobody's out to get them. Like,
Right.
but there was that way. So I have to realize when I'm doing it to others and when it's being done to me in terms of jumping to conclusions and use all the tools in my toolbox. So thank you for allowing me to share, but that takes practice, right?
Oh,
It's
yes.
real easy to, allow time before the BS, but not when people are like in their ear and care so much. So it's realizing what prompts you and how you prompt others. So thank you for allowing me to share.
Thank you, Carla. Really appreciate it. David, your quick thoughts, and then let's move right into AI, because that's your expertise. We talked about it last week, and we're going to be talking about that.
Yeah.
We're going to keep talked about prompts. You know, we're going to keep prompting folks
That part.
to step out of that comfort zone and not jump to a conclusion that this has nothing to do with you, and begin to embrace it so that we can grow as it grows. So speak to Carla's points, and then move right into how this relates to AI.
Yeah. Well, first of all, Carla, congrats on the 36 years. You know, that's good. I'm praying for you on that one. That's amazing. So good luck to you. I'm just not getting to 15, and I'm like, woo, this is a long one. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, we have to be able to guard our energy as well. I think not just with other people, or should I say with ourselves, but we have to be aware of other people's energy and not participate in that, first of all. And that no one can make you react or respond or do anything. And we have to take responsibility of how we show up, just like she did in the video, where, you know, she could have jumped his bones and she could have said this and she could have joined in, but she took a step back and she asked a question, you know, hey, what about this? Hey, what about that? How are you thinking that? And left it open, right, for him to be able to explain. And you could see how he kind of backtracked a little bit and was like, oh, I'll put on a bow tie as well, to try to, you know, clean it up. And so this is where it goes right into, you know, it's talking about AI, because, you know, a lot of the times when people do hear AI, they do have some type of trauma, they do have some type of mentality, they do have some assumption, they've read some headline, right, they've listened to the worst case scenarios. We've been watching these movies, Terminator, Aliens, you know, all of these movies, you know, iRobot for sure, Tesla. I mean, that movie and the robots are night and day. And so we've been conditioned to think about AI in a certain way. And I share with people that this AI is no different than the calculator, no different than the internet, no different than, you know, your cell phone, no different than, you know, your Siri that you've been utilizing in your phone, or Alexa, or, you know, your email decryption, or your spam decryption, or, you know, your Face ID when you got on your phone. That is AI. We've just gotten to the point to where we don't know what the next step is, just like in all of those technologies. When it came to the cars, when it came to the internet, we did not know. And so AI, is it going to replace everyone? No, it's going to replace some jobs. A lot of people say, oh, AI is complicated. It's not. It's copy, paste, drag, drop. Right? AI won't work for my business is another thing. I beg to differ. If you're doing things manual, then it absolutely will help you within your business, right? And then, you know, they think that, you know, they'll wait until it's a little bit more developed. I was just having this conversation with Stanley earlier that just in the last 2 months, as much as we focus in our business with AI and help other businesses implement it into theirs, it's completely changed in the last 2 months. And so it is dramatically shifting. And as I share with people, AI used to be the future, but it is now at your doorstep. And implementation is the key. And everybody can talk about Chat GPT, everybody can talk about Claude, everybody can talk about, you know, this, that, and the other, but are you actually implementing it? And a lot of the times what I find is people don't know what they're doing. People are reading off Chat GPT, people are reading, you know, their content, people are doing this, and they're just using the basics of them doing it and just getting better at utilizing a glorified grammar check, or glorify Google when it can actually do the things that you're doing, utilizing some of these, agents and utilizing a lot of this automation. So this is where we really have to be able to take a step back and ask ourselves, do I want to continue to do this manual work, and do I want to save my time? And that's really where we're at right
Well, let's get folks started right here within the next couple of minutes. How should one get started in making that leap from what most people may do is just kind of use it as, better search, go into AI mode and maybe get deeper into a search. Let's say number one, because there's so many resources that can help get people more familiar. Give me your top resource where they can learn, maybe a video, and then what kind of things should they ask? If ChatGPT, for example, or an AI mode somewhere asks, that would be a breakthrough that goes beyond just a glorified or better search.
Yeah, well, of course, I'm going to be, biased, and I'm going to tell you, go download our free AI guide that shows you well over
Mhm.
40 AI tools that you could be able to implement in your business, your personal life, your relationship. And more than anything, you got to get over yourself and press some buttons and stop telling yourself this isn't for me, or I can't do that, or technology isn't my thing. Just like we did with Facebook, just like we did with Instagram, just like people did with LinkedIn. There are people right now that are on LinkedIn that swore that they would never get on social media, and now they're on Facebook, now they're on TikTok, now they're on LinkedIn. And so never say never. And this is why you have to be able to implement these things, and just pick something. Pick one manual tool that you're doing every single day, writing the email, writing the script, writing this, and be able to utilize ChatGPT, be able to utilize, Claude, be able to utilize DeepSeek, be able to utilize so many different tools, and go download our free guide that shows you not just what it is, but it will give you a great description of what it can do for you, and if you can be able to use it. And now these AI tools are so easy. So more than anything, it is you getting out of your own way and getting rid of those assumptions and getting rid of those headlines and getting rid of what your Uncle Larry Joe that was sitting on his couch eating Cheetos telling you about AI, and he can't spell AI, and yet you're scared of it. So this is where we really have to get out of our own way and just press some buttons.
Oh yeah, well we have a Secretary of Education. I think they were in a discussion and they said they talked about A1. So it's the person that was in charge of all education. They said, "Oh yeah, A1." So we have it. So we had Tara B. Says great conversation, amazing nuggets. We have Coach Carrie Willis, who is doing some amazing things in a short period of time and multiple platforms. With her programs, AI has benefits and areas to apply safety precautions. Most things are that way. But quickly, let people know, because I'm going to wrap up, let people know how to get this free AI guide and how to get in touch with you.
Yeah, you can go to thehellollc.io. Go to all of our social media, hit that big link in the bio, and you go to our amazing Biz in a Box. That is more than a website. It is an experience into automation in our digital infrastructure company that can really be able to help you implement these things. And we have more than just that guide. We have another 5 other guides that you can be able to download for free, and go listen to our podcast. Our podcast is every single Tuesday, 9 a.m. We go over AI, we go over prompts, we show you what to do, we tell you what to do. We don't hold anything back. So come and listen to our podcast. It's 20, 30 minutes max, in and out. You can go listen to the actual replays on our Biz in a Box as well. And so it's definitely a great way for people to be able to learn and implement AI. And then, join our Pivot membership where we can show you, teach you, or do it for you.
Fantastic. Well, David, thank you for your insights. Look David up. AI is something that we're going to be talking about throughout the course of the year. We don't want this to be some kind of remote thing that's out there. We want to bring it into the Power Thinking core community. It's here. It's being utilized all the time. It's being incorporated into just about everything we do. I saw a little robot riding down the street in a video that was, I think it was Uber Eats, and it's delivered by, robot, and AI was part of it. Where to go, who's the right person to, to access it so that it opens up. And so just amazing, amazing technology. So I want to thank each and every one of you for being with us. Remember, we have breakthrough pricing with our app. Many of you are taking advantage of it. If you're an existing user, just go to our menu and upgrade, and you can hit the annual option. Remember, we were at about $20 per month. Now you for $59.99 per year, you can have it done for the year. Just hit that upgrade. If you're downloading and installing it for the first time, make sure you take advantage of that annual option. We have it available for you now. We're going to see how long we want to keep it, but it's there. So if you haven't downloaded the app, download that Power Thinking app. You can go for the annual option at $59.99 or the $9.99 per month, as opposed to the $19.99. So we want to get this into as many hands as possible so that you're getting those push notifications to keep you positive and keep you aware. David Jones, thank you again. Let's move to our phone lines as we wrap up. And I do want to just thank just a few people that I see here. I see Francine Hampton, one of our new Power Thinking Corp members, and Carla Douglas, good to see you. Gloria Hairston, Ed Samuel, we need to get you back so we can talk about optimizing the careers. And George Clark, Marie Turner, Sophia Edwards, Laura Fitz, Peg Kowalski, Layla, and Paul Wright, who was with us last week, Randy Ekman, Dr. Ekman. Go Quakers, man. Go Quakers. We're in March Madness tomorrow. Check us out, everybody. Have a great one, and we will see you again next time. All right. And on our platform, Tara B and Coach Gary Willis and Sheep and Leslie Flowers, who was on both, we appreciate you being with us. We mentioned the Sheep, we mentioned Coach Gary Willis, we mentioned Leslie, and again, we and Sunil, we appreciate each and every one of you being with us. And make sure you join us again 9:30 p.m. for more Power Thinking. And remember, since we spend all of our time thinking these 50,000 thoughts a day, we must think with power. And you